Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Houston Sharpshooters Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we simulated the entire season, and we had our best season yet, and we also did not finish in last place in the entire league, which is pretty awesome to see. We also do have, I think it was like the 4th overall pick in the draft, so we did slide back a bit, which is okay, because obviously if we keep getting the 1st overall pick, we're going to be eventually paying guys a lot of money and stuff like that, and this team is going to get into some cap troubles down the road. But this year's draft is a good defensive draft, so we should be able to get some more good defensive prospects in for our team, and hopefully next year we can start getting closer to being at like 40 wins, maybe like 38 or 39, somewhere around there, maybe even 40 wins on the season. But we are, I think, getting close to being a playoff team, which is kind of crazy because this team is definitely on the uptrend. If we look at our roster currently in terms of progress reports, we have a lot of guys that are all NHL ready, but we do have not really the greatest depth. Like, we do have guys that are like 75 plus that we definitely need to have grow for a few more years, I think, before we could actually be competitive. But for now, I think this team is definitely on the right foot. So first, before we get into the draft, we do have one comment to go over, and that is from HawksFan88. He says, Hedman would definitely be the better choice. Also thought it would be kind of weird that Spencer Knight faced exactly 2,200 shots and allowed only exactly 200 goals. So yeah, that is kind of odd that happened. Interesting. But he's saying definitely to go with Hedman, which I definitely think is the case. I think I did suggest that at the end of last episode. So as you can see, it's a defensive heavy draft for the top 5, as everybody is a defender, and Hedman is listed as a gem, which makes it, I think, a little bit better as well. He is better than some of these other defensemen, like the guy that's supposed to go at number 4, which is Hlinka. So we probably will take him over that. And the fact that he's a right-handed defenseman is also nice, even though there is actually 4 right-handed defensemen in the top 5. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty crazy draft for defense. And yeah, hopefully Hedman could help us out next season, because obviously now we'd have Teratukin and Hedman on our defensive core, which would make it that much better. And then hopefully that helps us keep the puck out of the net a little bit more. Hopefully this guy could help out like anywhere on the ice, penalty kill, power play, that type of thing. So anyways, let's get into this draft and see what we could get. And hopefully we can get some good players in. And then hopefully resign stage-wise, we do not have to give out too much money to some of these young players. But let's sim up to our pick. But let's do the first 3 before our pick at number 4. See who goes. So Craig is the first overall pick. He's a 79 defensive defenseman. At number 2, Montreal is going to take Heatley, who's another defensive defenseman, 78 overall. And Nashville at number 3 is going to take Riley, who's a defensive defenseman. So 3 defensive defensemen in the first 3, which is kind of weird. So I guess our pick is going to be the first 2-way defenseman, which is kind of nice. Obviously, we could go with Hlinka, but as you look at these attributes, that Hedman's definitely the better of the 2 options. And he is a gem as well, which means he might end up being pretty solid. So Liam Hedman, welcome to Houston. I'm excited to see you on our defensive core, and he's a 78 two-way defenseman. So literally everybody that has gone in the top 4 is legitimate, almost the exact same overall. Craig is just 1 point better. So legitimate, we could have the best player in this draft, which is kind of interesting in terms of overall rating. And let me just take a look at what Philadelphia takes at 5. They take Hlinka, who's also 78 two-way defenseman. So let me just go through all these attributes. Hlinka actually does have some X factors, which is kind of crazy. I didn't take a look if Hedman does. Hedman does as well. Hedman has tape to tape, back at you, yoink, shrug it off, send it in reverse. So looks like he could be a really good passer, which is definitely something we could use on the back end. And looks like he could also be pretty good defensively and throwing some hits if people try and throw some at him too. But there's the difference in attributes between him and Heatley. Or right, no, there's Craig, Heatley, Lorenzo Riley, there's Hedman, and there's Hlinka, just in case you guys wanted to do a little comparison between the 5 of them. That's their difference. Let me actually take a look at those attributes for Hedman. So yeah, that passing's at 83 already, so this guy might be able to run a power play unit for sure. He's a little bit better defensively than he is offensively, which is kind of interesting. And he does have good shot power. His skating's pretty solid. Body checking's also not too bad, so definitely a good defenseman all around. Let's sim up to our next pick at pick number 36. See what we could grab. Don't really know much about this round as well. It was recommended to me a few episodes ago to get some new scouts, so at some point maybe we will have to try and find some new scouts because we don't really know too much about this draft at all. I think there was a guy I pinned though, right? Because there was like a low elite defenseman. Yeah, this guy's not supposed to go to 103, so I probably will eventually draft him in, I guess, the next round or the round afterwards. I don't remember what round 103 is. I think round 103, it's round 5, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Since we're going to be getting a defenseman in the later parts, let's get another forward, and let's go with Caden Sador. Why not? See how good he is. He's a medium top 9 grinder. That's not too bad. I'll take a top 9. Even though this guy might not pan out because he doesn't have greatest attributes, I'll take it still. And then we go to pick 69 for the memes. And then we'll go to our next pick, which would be that low elite defenseman, I think. We could take it just a top 6 defenseman. Might not be a bad option. Yeah, let's just take him. He's 17 years old as well. Gives us another defensive prospect. 64 overall. That's pretty solid. I'll take that for sure. So there's his attributes. Hopefully he could crack the lineup at some point. Like, he could definitely be in the NHL lineup at this stage on the top 6 pairing, because the top 6 pairing is kind of up in the air on who makes it and who doesn't. So maybe he will be on the team next year. And wait a sec. When is that low lead supposed to go? Because he might end up going right before our pick, which is not good if that is the case. I should have probably went with him here. I just want to go offer trade. Wait a sec. Oh no. Yeah, I think I might have just made a mistake because I think the guy's supposed to go 101. Or maybe he didn't. Maybe he went earlier. Maybe he did not go. He did not go. Okay, it was 105. Yikes, I got scared that he was going to go already. Oh, that's close. So we're going to be taking low elite defenseman Jürgen Schutz from Germany. He has no weakness, but should be interesting to get a low elite defenseman in, because this guy, if he could fit our team pretty well, he could develop pretty well, then we have a defenseman that could fit our top 4 or top 6, which would be good. So Jürgen Schutz, welcome aboard. And he's a 54 overall, so not the greatest overall. We could let him play in the AHL for a few years, just to get him into the NHL lineup, or we could try and play him in the NHL right away just to see if his overall will go up faster or whatnot. So that's still a really good one to get, because obviously he can become something good for our defensive core, and he won't be as expensive as a first overall pick kind of defenseman, you know. So our next pick, we've drafted quite a few defensemen already. There's a center. We do need more centers. This guy's a 4-year ETA, which I don't like. He might be an AHL top 6 forward, but we're going to take him anyways. Wayne Strudwick, welcome aboard. And he's a bottom 6 forward sniper. 61 overall is not bad, and to be a sniper, I guess he could probably pick up some points for our bottom 6, which would give us some depth scoring, which is something we kind of need, so I'll take it, I guess, if he develops well. Then the next pick, we do have Bob Roach. I think we have a guy named Reed Roach, so this would maybe be his brother. It's another defenseman. I might go with him, but the scouts are recommending us one of the 3 of these guys, which I don't really know if I want to. Leonard doesn't look terrible. 5-year ETA, 4-year ETA potentially for Roach. Yeah, let's go with Roach. He's a pretty big guy, so 6'5", 219. Welcome aboard, low top 6D, not the greatest, but still might be something for the AHL club. And then we go to our final pick of this year's draft in the 7th round. Let's see if we could find a steal. Maybe we'll go with Gage Ronning. He's 20 years old, though, is the only problem. But I don't know if there's anything better really to go after. Yeah, I think we'll just go with Gage Ronning, because why not? And if he makes a team out of camp, then I could show that to X-Tech. So Gage Ronning will welcome aboard. And he's a medium top 4, 54 overall, so a lot better potential-wise than I actually thought. That's kind of interesting, but being 20 years old and 54 overall, he's probably not going to become anything huge, but he could still become something decent for the AHL level, which is good. So let's sim to our next pick, which are actually not sim to our next pick, sim to the end of the draft. And there is our draft. So we got Hedman, Sidor, Afinisenkov, Schutz, Strudwick, Roach, and Ronning. So it was a pretty defensive-heavy draft, but we did get a couple forwards in there as well. So not too bad overall-wise. Now we got to get into the re-sign stage and re-sign these guys. We do have one scout that is expiring, and that's Janicki for the DEL, which I will re-sign him. But as you can see, all these scouts have like A+ in their region, but their overalls are not that great. So we might actually should look for new scouts at some point. Yeah, I think we definitely got to look for new scouts in all of them. So I think we are going to fire every single one of our scouts and re-clean up our scouts for this offseason. Try and find some better overall scouts. A lot of these guys are A+ in their region, but they haven't been doing good because their overalls are not good. So we're just going to fire them all, and then we're going to find some new ones. Just because I think that will help us out in terms of finding drafted players, because those scouts didn't really do a good job for the other rounds, because like I could tell what the first round was like, but the rest of the rounds were kind of like really hard to tell who's what. So we're going to find some new scouts, and let's re-sign our boys here in the re-sign stage, and we'll see how we are cap situated wise. So yeah, Gene Thornton's the big one. Unsigned wise, let's already get these unsigned guys signed up, because they are going to play in the AHL. Some of them won't play in the NHL. Like Hedman's definitely going to be in the NHL. I think everybody else would be probably AHL bound for now, but we'll sign these guys all up, and it should be good. And let's go to RFAs and start this off. Actually, let's go to UFAs, because we could let go of all these guys that we just signed randomly. We might have to sign some of them back again just to keep us cap compliant and whatnot, but we'll release them all for now. And that is good. Goalie wise, that's good as well. So now it comes the contract situations. So Gene Thornton is the big one. Obviously, we are going to get him in at 8 years. I was told that the 85% trick does not work in the re-sign stage, but I am still going to try it out for fun just to see if it actually works out. So let's open up this calculator app if I can. Yeah, let's open up the calculator and see what we could offer potentially to one Gage Thornton or Gene Thornton. Yeah, Gene Thornton. Oh, Gage. I don't know where I got that from. So 11,275, we're going to times that by 0.85, and we're going to try and offer him 9.59 and see if I can get him for that. Because I want to get him for as cheap as possible to an extent, but he is a big part of this team, obviously in terms of scoring. So we'll give him 9.6 for 8 years, see if he'll accept that. Hopefully he doesn't think I'm lowballing him. What's his first name? George? Yeah, George Forster. We are going to try and sign this guy up for, I mean, if I go 8 years, he doesn't really want that much, so I don't think he's going to develop much more than this, which is good. But I will lock him up for a long-term deal if he wants to. Try and give him like 5 years at like 2.3, because he is a part of this future, and that will keep us closer to being cap compliant. Coroson's up to an 81, which is really nice. If we go up to 8 years, he wants like 5.6. I will try and lock him up for like 4 years at least, I think. Yeah, I'll lock him up for 4 years, and we'll try and get him for like 4.2. We might end up having to qualify him. And the rest of these guys shouldn't want too much money, so I'm going to qualify the rest of them for now, because the rest of these guys we should be able to get for cheaper than what they probably actually want. So we'll qualify them for now. We might end up paying them that much, but we are just going to qualify them for now. Like Christopoulos shouldn't even be getting paid that much. Like, he's probably not going to be on the NHL roster anymore because of the fact that we just drafted another defenseman. So, but yeah, all these guys are going to get qualified, and hopefully some of them accept the qualifying offers that we are going to be giving them and don't hold out too long term. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's all that. And in goalie wise, Jansson's going to want 1.3. If we go 8 years, he only wants 1.7, which means he's probably not going to develop a lot more than this. But we are going to qualify him off as well, I think, just for now. Actually, you know what? That's okay, I think. 2 years at 1.3. We'll just give it to him. Why not? But we are going to qualify Con, I think, just to make sure. And now we're going to advance today and see if we got all these guys, especially Forster and Thornton. I hope those guys accept those contracts. That would be really nice. And let's go through this quickly. They all accepted, so we got Forster in on a 5-year deal or something like that, which I think is a steal, because like I don't think he's going to develop much more, to be honest. And all these guys are still qualified, which is good. And we also got Thornton, though, on that contract that they offered him. So 9.5 for 8 years is a pretty good contract, considering this guy's going to score probably like 40 goals a season or so. And now we just got to wait on all those RFAs, and I think that's pretty much that. So let's sim up to free agency and see who accepts out of those RFAs, and then we kind of need to figure out what our roster needs going into next season in terms of AHL signings. So let's go sim to free agency. We got a couple of players that accepted already, which is good on their qualifiers. So let's go to those contracts, see who else is still out there. So these guys still need contracts. There's a couple guys holding out. But we should be able to get some of them for less eventually. Orlando Ryder. Yeah, see, he wants a one-way deal. So let's go two-way. Let's see if I can offer him 800K. Let me try and offer some of these guys two-way deals and see if they'll accept. Because most of these guys should only want two-way deals. I'm fine with giving some guys one-way deals for now. But some of these guys I'm not really. Yeah, like Malhotra needs to be qualified still for quite a long time because he wants a lot of money. I think the rest of those guys probably need to hold out for a little bit longer. And yeah, we'll also try and get that to work. Boom. Okay, let's go to free agency now. Actually, let's take a look at what we have currently on our rosters. So we have currently 30 out of 40 contracts, which means we need to definitely sign still some stuff for the AHL. But currently, we got 1, 2 NHLers there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11. That's not too bad. And then defense, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got a lot of defensemen. We're probably good on defense front. Forward-wise, we probably need to sign some stuff for the AHL, though, I think. Because if we go to the AHL, we have still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 5. Yeah. Yeah, we might need to sign some AHLers, I think. I'm not exactly sure how much, so I think I'm just going to sign 12, like, random, or actually not 12 AHL forwards. I'm probably going to sign, like 5 or 6, and then we'll see where we're at. So let's go to overall and go forwards and get the lowest overall guys that are not any potential players. So guys like Dyke are going to come back for the AHL. And we'll give you also a 1-year deal. And we're not going to give you max amount of money this time around. Just because we already are getting closer to the cap floor. So we'll give you like 1 year. And we'll give you like $15 million. And then somebody else will give a little bit more, or a little less too, as well. Just because those guys are going to be our cap whales for the season. And then we'll also go to, there's a lot of low bottom 6 forwards in this. Most of these guys would want their ELC, so that's why I'm not offering them anything. So we're going to go with 1 year, and we'll give him like $5 million to play in the AHL. Just because we don't really need anything else in terms of cap, really. Because I think we're getting close to the cap floor anyways. If I needed some more players, then so be it. And then let's get some more players for the AHL team. So this guy's already 23, so I should be able to give him a 1-way deal. Yep, that's good. Let's give him a little bit more, just to keep us kind of close cap-wise. So when you're at 3 million, and I think that should be almost good on that front. We should sign some more AHLers though. We've offered 7 contracts. You know what? Let's just take a look at what we have. We could just wait until those RFAs sign. So let's advance an entire month, because we just obviously are going for the worst players in free agency anyways. We just want to see what our roster looks like once those RFAs actually accept. So let's get those guys signed for the AHL. Whoa. Oh, damn. Christopoulos does not like that 2-way offer, apparently. Barking up the wrong tree. That's what he just said. I haven't heard that saying in a while. Zubov has accepted the qualifying offer. Is there anybody else that are still holding out? Or is that everybody that's signed up? I think Christopoulos still needs a contract. Let's go to our RFAs. So these guys are still all holding out. They want less money. I might as well just give them what they want, to be honest. Because I don't think there's going to be any way to get them for less. So we'll just give them what they want for now. And yeah, that should give us enough. We're going to be kind of close actually to the cap floor, which is good. But it sucks that a lot of these guys are trying to just hold out for a lot of money. So let's advance a day. And we should be getting those guys. Yep, we got all those guys, which is good. Let's take a look at our contract situation now. We have 9 contract spaces, which means we don't really need to sign too much. But NHL wise, we got 3, 6, 9, 7, or 10, 13. And then 3, 6, 7. Yeah, we're good in the NHL. AHL wise, we got more than enough goalies down there. Got 3, 6, 9. Yeah, we're good on defense down there. 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we could probably use another 2 forwards down there in the AHL. So we're going to sign those up. And then we are pretty much good to sim up to next season, I think. So let's sign 2 more AHLers and get those done with, because there's definitely going to be terrible guys still available. Yeah, I think it's best just to simulate for like a month first before we actually take a look at the free agent pool, because that way it gets rid of a lot of the good overall players and good potential players. So Svensson is a defenseman. I don't want a defenseman. I need a forward, because we need depth forwards for the AHL. So where we go? Oh, there's some. There was an exact bottom 6 Sjogren, 1-year deal. Get you for the AHL, as well as Fesser, AHL bound, and 1 more player just to make sure we have enough for sure. And that is good. So those 3 guys should all accept, and then our team is pretty much set for next season, I think. There we go. Let's sim up to next season and get our lines set up and see how the chemistry is. Hopefully it's pretty good. Our coach, I believe, is going into the last year of his contract, so we're going to have to re-sign him for a big deal in the offseason probably, or we might have to find a new coach, which would not be good, because this current coach has a really good scheme fit. So okay, so let's set up our lines and see what we got going. Let's go to roster moves and just make sure we got the best guys possible in the NHL. Who's the worst in the NHL? Sim. And the best in the NHL is, who was it? It was Tursunbayev. I think I'm going to call up Tursunbayev and we're going to send down Sim for now, just because of overall rating. Do it like that. Let's go to our edit lines thing now and just go best lines for now. In the AHL, yeah, best lines down there is fine. But NHL wise, let's make some adjustments. So Morales needs to go back to the top line, and Sidu is going to be running that second line. Karostin, Forster, like that. Goldobin, Pasquale, Lannon. Damn, Pasquale's face-offs are up to an 88. I like that. That's pretty nice. That second line doesn't have great chemistry, so I might need to play around with that a little bit. Okay, that looks a little bit better, but Forster on the 4th line, I don't really know if I like that. He's getting paid money, so we might as well just play him in the top 6. And in our 4th line, Malhotra, Zubov, Aegon. I think that looks pretty good for the most part. Does leave Tursunbayev scratched, which I don't really like, but we do need to have players that are scratched because of injury stuff. Tursunbayev is a low top 6, so I should probably actually play him in the AHL. So maybe it would be best to keep Sim as our depth guy, because Sim has not a lot of potential. So, yeah, we want our guys with potential to be playing in the AHL, obviously, because if they're not getting playing time, they're not going to be developing. So, Sim is probably much a write-off, and he's probably not going to develop much more. So, we'll just keep him in the NHL as a depth forward. And then Roach on defense, I guess we might have to take out Mikonov, to be honest, because Roach is younger and right around the same overall, right? So, yeah, I might have to take out Mikonov, and Mikonov might have to be our depth defenseman this year. Yeah, I think that's going to be the case, to be honest. Yeah, that might end up being the case. Teratukin and Hedman have chemistry, which is really nice to see that. Doesn't happen every day where you get some high up picks and they both have good chemistry together. But that's basically what would be our defensive core. So Mikonov would be a depth defenseman, which means we should technically have 1 more depth forward in the NHL just in case of injury problems, which means we probably want to call up our oldest guy possible. So we're probably going to want to call up... Actually, it doesn't really matter that much, I don't think. I think I'll just leave it the way it is. And then we need to make sure we have our good prospects in on our defensive core. So this pairing right here does not seem to work. I would like to get Gage Ronning sometime because he has top 4 potential. So I should move him up into the top 6. And I think we got to take out... Who's the bad defenseman that doesn't work right here? Seems like Anafinasenkov doesn't really work with his AHL team that well. And same with this other guy. So let's just try and fix this up a little bit and put in some other potential guys. There you go. That works. So unfortunately, we got to scratch Finasenkov and McIver, which both have potential. But hopefully they get some playing time still with the injuries. I actually wouldn't mind playing Jurgen Schutz though because he's a low elite defenseman. So let's try putting him in there instead of Smolinski, and that still works as well. So that's good. Okay, that's the way we'll have it instead. And then goalie-wise, obviously, Soderstrom. I think I'm going to take Kahn out of the lineup because of the fact that Soderstrom's already 22 and he's almost near his make-or-break opportunity to get to the NHL. So we're going to replace Kahn with Cam Beats. And that way the 19-year-old Cam Beats can play in the NHL as well, even though he's got backup potential only. But that way Soderstrom gets more starting time and hopefully gets some development this year. But otherwise, that's good. NHL-wise, we look like that. Defense looks like that. It's good. Goalie-wise, looks pretty solid. And let me just take a look at the special teams. So that first unit has a +5 boost, which is awesome to see that. And then we need to kind of fix around the second unit. So I think... Wait. I think who are we going to take off the power play unit? We're probably going to take off Lannon and Pasquale. And we will probably throw in a defenseman like Roger Turris. And we will probably also throw in a defenseman like Ty Dubnik. There you go. That improves it right there, getting rid of those 2 bad players for the power play unit. And then we'll do something like... Does Morales have better face-offs? 80, and Sidu has 80 as well. And I'll leave it like that. That works. We're going to take these 2 guys off again for the same 2 players, just to make sure there is not a bad negative. That's only a -1 instead of a -3. Penalty kill looks fine the way it is, except for this unit, which is probably minus because of Kyler Morales. So I'm going to take Morales out, and we are going to give this to Pasquale, even though he's a sniper. It's because he's got good face-off stats, I think. That's good. And the rest of this should be fine, I think. Yeah, the rest of this would be fine. So that is our team going into the 2026-2027 season, but I think we do have a good shot at being a better team this year than last year even, so maybe getting close to like 40 wins on the season or being around 500. Because we actually have a legitimate probably top 6 almost to an extent, and in our bottom 6 is probably where our weakest point is at this stage. Defense, we're also still weak, but once Hedman starts developing, then I think we might end up simulating somewhat okay. And goalie wise looks not terrible. It's still more of an AHL goalie tandem, but I don't mind it at all. So that is that, and that is I think pretty much all we need to do. Let's just take a quick look at the draft class just to see what top players are going in terms of like their positioning and stuff like that. So it looks like it is a winger heavy draft or a forward heavy draft this year. So we could add more to our forward core if we want to. Hopefully we're a good enough team to get this Shannon Mullen dude instead, and we fall back in the draft lottery a little bit more, because I wouldn't mind getting another defensive prospect in, because the defense is what we need to address more than the forward core, I think, at this rate. So that is that, and I think that's pretty much it. Contract situation wise, just in case you guys wanted to see, there is some big contracts up this offseason, including Taylor Tukin that we're going to have to re-sign. And yeah, he's going to want not a terrible amount of money. We might end up giving him a shorter term deal, but he's going to need a lot of money. And then hopefully a lot of these other guys want not as much going into next season. And hopefully they get a little bit cheaper throughout the offseason, unlike the guys we just had this offseason. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Houston Sharpshooters Draft Glory. So in next episode, we will simulate the entire season, and we'll take a look and see how good this team is going into next season and how they simulate. Hopefully they simulate a little bit better defensively, and hopefully we can continue our offensive output. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.